Hi, friends. I wanted to show you that the comprehension page that I posted in Google Classroom can go along with any book that you read. It lends itself better to fiction, to narrative type texts. But the one that I assigned on Google Classroom is Scaredy Squirrel at the Beach. But I want you to notice that if you are in Epic, I'm sorry, not Google Classroom, Epic. If you are in Epic, your view is going to look slightly different than my view because I'm in the teacher setting. But if you just search at the beach, all of these different themed books will come up. A lot of them are narrative books, a couple are nonfiction. This one, At the Beach. I also want to point out in the bottom right-hand corner, if it says read to me in green, sorry that it keeps doing that. If it says read to me in green, the book will actually read aloud to you. If it doesn't say that, then you're going to read the book independently or read it with a grown-up. So I had selected Scaredy Squirrel at the Beach for our comprehension assignment for writing today. Let me just back up to the beginning because I already read the book. Here we go. So Scaredy Squirrel at the Beach. If you've read any other Scaredy Squirrel books, you'll know that Scaredy Squirrel, he's the main character. And we know that he's kind of a little bit of a nervous Nelly. He doesn't really like to be around people. He doesn't really like to be around crowds. He usually likes to do his own thing, and he overthinks everything. Overthinks everything. This book is about his experience going to the beach. Scaredy Squirrel insists that everyone put on number 65 sunscreen before reading this book. OMG. So you're going to read this book about Scaredy Squirrel going to the beach. I'm not going to read it aloud right now for the screencast because I'm planning to read it aloud at our Google Meet on Thursday. But after you read this book, you're going to go to this comprehension page, which is posted in Google Classroom. And this page lends itself to any narrative book. You can use this Scaredy Squirrel book, or you can use another book that you're reading. You're going to name the characters in the story. Now, what's fun about the Scaredy Squirrel story, he's the main character for sure. He's my favorite character in the story, but there's still other characters. It's hard to determine who they are. One of the characters that I notice is the mail truck. Scaredy Squirrel decides to go get a passport, and that involves him dealing with the mail truck and the mail carrier. He also gets himself a hermit crab to bring back to this little makeshift beach that he's making, and there's a little friend living inside it. Excuse me, unexpectedly, a crab. That's another character in the story. The crowds of people at the beach, they could be considered another character in the story. Another interesting thing for you to think about as a reader is that the beach is a character in the story. It's the setting, the makeshift beach that he creates. It's the setting, it's where the story takes place. But for this particular book, the beach is also a character, becomes part of the book, becomes part of the story. So think about that as you name 3 characters in the story. Then you're going to just draw your favorite character from the story or a scene. And if you'd like, you can write a sentence on the back. Remember, this works for the Scaredy Squirrel book, but it works for any book. Thinking about the characters in the story, thinking about what happens in the story, the sequence of events, will help you become a better reader and writer.